Okay, today we're going to talk about trinkets, guys. There are literally 8 trinkets coming out in patch 10.15, and these trinkets are sold from the new Time Rift vendors. We have done some videos, we have done some stuff on the website about the Time Rift and how a little bit how that works, and that we have 7 vendors tied to the Time Rift event that is coming out at 10.15. Each of these vendors are tied to the alternative worlds that we're gonna have in the Time Rift vendor, and there are 7 alternative worlds tied to the Rift. So we're gonna have one vendor for each, and each of these vendors are selling 1 trinket each, except for one vendor that is based on what faction you are. So if you are Horde, you'll get a Horde trinket. If you're Alliance, you get an Alliance trinket. Now we have taken a look at how these trinkets work on stream, and today I'm gonna present it for you guys. Alright, so I'm now in the area where they sell these vendors. It is in Thunderfin, it is where the Time Rift event will happen, and that's the location of it. So putting all together, there are 7 vendors with 8 trinkets in total. And now if you take a look at this one, each trinket is called Paracausal Fragment. And based on what it is, it will have something in the end. Paracausal Fragment of Frostmourne, Val, Thunderfin, Azzinoth, Sulfaras, Shalamayne, and Seschenal. And the last one is the Doomhammer. We have done a video about how one of these work, because that one was pretty cool. But today we're going to go through like all in all and overall how these trinkets are and what you can expect from them. The eye level of all trinkets are 250 eye level. Now, we don't know if that is something just a placeholder or if that's going to change. And I mentioned it before. I think it's going to be 3 different outcomes that we're going to have on these trinkets. One, that they'll only be used in the Time Rift event. You cannot use it anywhere else. 2, they will change the eye level, and that eye level maybe can be upgraded as well. 3, I forgot what the 3rd one was. But yeah, we don't know what's gonna happen yet. Okay, before we like go through exactly what these do, let's break them down a little bit first, so we know a little bit what we're working with. Alright, so we start with the Frostmourne one. Now, the Frostmourne one can be used by Strength classes, Int classes, and Agility classes. This is the only trinket that changes its power, its player power. It's the only one that changes player power based on who's wearing it. Now, if I am a melee, I will literally have this power. So what this one does is that it will stack souls based on how many players I'm killing or based on how many allies are dead. And it stacks up to 10 souls. Each soul will heal me when I have those stacks. When I use this trinket, I will transform into a lich. Like that. Pretty cool. During this time, I will do periodical damage, 48k periodical damage for 10 seconds. And then I'm gonna fear them, and it's gonna feel less based on how many players are around me. This one is overpowered as hell at the moment on the PTR, and it's really badass as well. And it's fun visually as well. If you are an intellect player, it will actually differ. When you use the trinket as intellect, you'll transform to a lich for 20 seconds, and your harmful spell and abilities have a chance to slow the target by 10% for 5 seconds, and also begin to gather ice and form into the pillar of frost, and after 10 seconds it launched that pillar and deals 40k damage on the target, which does also AoE damage around. Now, this one compared to melee is really bad, because it's like a one-time 37.7k damage, whereas the melee one had periodical damage for 10 seconds that was more or less the same as this one. Now, I tried this one on my mage just to see how it looks visually. Of course, you transform into a lich, but you couldn't see this pillar and stuff like that is happening, unfortunately. As a healer, though, you will transform into a lich, but you will promote someone else as a general, all right? So you're gonna target someone and be like, you're the Scourge General for 20 seconds. This Scourge General will increase its health, boom, by 30k, and also the damage they deal has a chance to heal them as well. After 10 seconds, you will order your Scourge General to finish the opposition, and you grant them 391 haste for 10 seconds. So that's pretty cool. So first, if you're a healer and use it on a target, you make it a general, you make it heal during 10 seconds. When it's 10 seconds left, boom, there you go. Here I have some haste as well on it. So this trinket for healers is more like it boosts up someone else and also heals someone else. So that's a pretty cool damn trinket. So like I said, this is the only trinket that actually gives player power that differs based on what classes you are and stuff like that. All the other trinkets, we tried them out and they were literally the same player power on them. However, the primary stat differed because, you know, if you are a healer or a melee or a ranged DPS, something like that, right? That's the only thing that differs. Okay, speaking of healer, the Paracausal Fragment of Val. So what this one does is that your healing spells have a chance to grant you Blessing of Eternal Kings for 15 seconds. This allows your heal to shield the target for up to 16k damage, and this shield will last 8 seconds. Pretty like it's a pretty nice trinket. Nothing like, you know, extra special based on like many other these trinkets, what they are doing, like visually especially. But you know, you put a shield on someone, and if you look at the primary stats on this, it's literally only intellect. If you take a look at the next one, the Paracausal Fragment of Thunderfin, Humid blade of Tideseeker. Now this one we have 3 primary stats: strength, intellect, and agility. So basically everyone can use this. I tried this out on more or less everything you can try it out on, and it turned out that it's literally the same. However, what this one does, the player power on this one, sounds really cool. It did not work on the PTR though. What it's supposed to do is that it's gonna spawn a cyclone on the target, and that cyclone will do damage on the target. That cyclone also follow the target, and it's gonna do split damage on everything around that target. That's pretty man badass. And also, while inside the cyclone, these enemies become lightning conduits as well. When you do damage on these enemies that have lightning conduits, they will do even more AoE damage around. So this is a really crazy trinket, and it's really cool trinket. But yeah, unfortunately, it didn't work on the PTR. All right, so that was that trinket. Next one from Azzinoth vendor is the Azzinoth one, the Paracausal Fragment of Azzinoth. Now this one also has 3 primary stats that is tied to it. So basically everyone can wear this one. Your harmful spells and abilities have a chance to manifest a fell elemental by your side for 12 seconds that does periodical damage, which is 1.75k fire damage to your target, and also increase your haste by 212. When you use abilities with this one in proc it, you will do damage, and you also get a haste buff. Pretty insane. I'm gonna go hit something so you can see exactly how it looks like when you attack with it. There it is. Now it's spawned, and during this time I will get a haste buff. Increase haste by 212. There is a little dude shooting, helping me. Next one up, from the A.Z.E.R.O.T.H vendor, A.Z.E.R.O.T.H World, we have the Paracausal Fragment of Sulfaras. So this one says that it is for strength and agility. So basically casters won't get the primary stat out of this one. And also said that your auto attacks have a chance to deal 2,600 additional fire damage. Your harmful abilities have a chance to make the fragment erupt, and it will deal more fire damage split between nearby enemies. The fragment will have a chance to react to your damage taken and counter-attack that attack for 2.6 fire damage as well. We tried this one. It did very little damage compared to like my overall damage and my other abilities and stuff like that. Also because it's 250 eye level trinket as well, how much damage it does. But the sound of it sounds pretty damn cool, man. Your auto attack has a chance to proc damage. Your ability has a chance to proc damage. And when that fragment erupts, split between enemies, and also when that fragment erupts, the damage they do on you will counter-attack into them as damage. That's pretty badass, man. So that's a Sulfaras trinket. Then we have from the Warlands. So I checked this one out also on stream, and it turned out that it is for the primary stats, strength and agility, so not for intellect wearers. It says Alliance only. Now, when we checked this one with Horde and Alliance, it turned out that the player power on this one is the exact same, no matter if you are Alliance or Horde. The only thing that changes is the word of one thing. So let's first take a look at what it does. Your melee and abilities have a chance to king strike your target, dealing 1.6k holy damage. When you use this trinket, you will do a 5-hit combo that does in total 35k physical damage. And also during that time, it will do king strike blows. Now for Horde, instead of king strike, it's called something like Doomhammer. So that's the difference. But what it does is literally the same. Now on PTR, this trinket is a little bit bugged because it says that I can proc king strike, and it's also on-use trinket. So it's a passive trinket and an on-use trinket in one go. It doesn't say what the cooldown is on this trinket, so that it should do, right? Because I can literally use this trinket over and over and over again. So the 5-hit combo looks like this, and I can do this all the time, literally all the time. But yeah, I mean, it's PTR. They haven't put it like the cooldown on it yet. I don't think the cooldown will be there. I mean, I don't think that it's meant that it's gonna be like this. It should definitely be a cooldown on it. But yeah, that's the 5-hit combo it does. In total, 35k damage on this combo, and king strike on each one. So add up like 5 times 2.5 or something as well. So you're gonna come up to like around 50k damage on that for a 250 eye level trinket. And the last trinket is the Paracausal Fragment of Seschenal, the second healing trinket. It says intellect only, and it's a healing trinket. And what it does is that it spawns a sapling wherever you want around you, somewhere around you. And that sapling will heal anything around, like all the allies around. It will fade off, but what you can do is that you can heal it and extend its duration. So let's take a look at how that works. I should have it here somewhere. There it is, Seschenal. Let's put it in, and also, let's go heal. Now, I'm not a healer, so don't laugh at me when I'm gonna try to heal this sapling now. Let's see what it is. All right, so the distance is pretty far, all the way there. It's a far distance where I can put it. And I can put it close to me as well. Now, let's say I want to put it here. There it is. Now, this one will fade away, but I can heal it. And it will do periodical AoE heals all the time while I'm keeping it alive. Now we're up to 8 stacks on it. Extend this life, and it's actually harder and harder to keep it up after a while. It ticks down pretty fast after a while. And there we go. So yeah, an AoE heal. Pretty cool, pretty cool. So if we take a look at what we actually have now, this is one overall trinket everyone can use. The 3 secondary stats, that's 1. This is a healing trinket. Overall, that's 2 overall. 3 overall with all 3 primary stats on it, based on what you are. And then we have this one, which is only for melee. 2 is only for melee, and then healing. So basically, all in all, when you take a look at all these trinkets, there are 2 healing trinkets, there are 3 trinkets that is for everyone, all 3 primary stats are there, and there are 2 that are only for melee. Does that add up? 7? Yeah, it comes up to 7, but don't forget the other one is actually Alliance and Horde, based on what you are. So it goes into like the same. But 8 trinkets in total, of course. So yeah. That's how the trinkets are. That's how trinkets will work. As you can see, some of them a little bit bugged now on the PTR, but that's totally fine. Overall, the trinkets are pretty awesome. They're very, very nice look of it. Very, very nice animations of it. These are trinkets that are actually doing cool things. Maybe a little bit too cool things. I'm just afraid of that it might just be a time rift thing. I really hope not. I hope there's going to be something that's going to be in the game wherever you are. Not only for time rift, but time will tell. Speaking of time. All right, guys. Until next time.